Started?
Yep.
Okay. So we are on Module 5, Lesson 16 today, and our objective is to draw trapezoids, to clarify their attributes, and define trapezoids based on those attributes. So the type of polygon we're talking about today is a trapezoid. Down here, before we can start drawing it, we need to define it. We need to know what a trapezoid is so we know how to draw it correctly. So we are doing a trapezoid. And the properties of a trapezoid are a quadrilateral. Can you explain what a quadrilateral is to me?
A quadrilateral has 4 sides.
So it is a shape with 4 sides with one set of opposite parallel lines. And we are going to be using a tool today that is super sophisticated and high-tech. This tool right here is called a set square. You might like to think of them as sticky notes. However, they are also set squares. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my protractor and I'm going to just draw a straight line using the bottom of it. On that straight line, I'm going to stick my super high-tech set square right on that line so that it is perfectly even with it. And our quadrilateral, the trapezoid, has to have one set of opposite parallel lines. Now, I know something about squares, and that's that all sides are opposite, all opposite sides are parallel. Sorry about that. So our top line is parallel to our bottom line. And I'm just going to trace along that. And there are my parallel lines. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and connect from the top parallel line to the bottom parallel line. And I have another side of my trapezoid. And the last thing I'm going to do is pick a spot here on the bottom line because I only have to have one set of opposite parallel lines. I can choose wherever I want, and I'm going to put a point. And I'm going to put a point on my open line. And the last thing I need to do is connect those lines to make my trapezoid. So I'm going to go ahead and go back and put a point where all of these lines are connecting. And I'm going to give them all a name because I really like labels. We've talked about labels quite a bit. This label is we're going to start here. I'm going to have A on the bottom left corner, B, C, and D. The next thing we need to do is to measure our angles. Little did you know that all quadrilaterals quadrilateral angles equal 360 degrees. So when I add up the angle for all of these points, it's going to equal 360 degrees. I need to name them. So this angle, even though A is right there, we're going to call it DAB. And this is how we write that. We draw a little angle, DAB. And we're going to use our protractor to measure. Here's where it's a little more tricky. I put points because there's a little hole. I don't know if you can see it. There's a hole right in the middle of my protractor. We put that point in there. And I can't have it in all kinds of crazy positions. I put the hole over the dot, and then I line up the bottom of my quadrilateral with this thick black line right here. And it's pointing at 0. So now I count from 0 all the way up till I cross my other line, and this angle is 90 degrees. So here's my angle, and I'm going to write 90 degrees. So angle DAB is equal to 90 degrees. The next angle, I'm going to just go around again. B should be in the middle because that's where I'm looking. It's angle ABC. So I'm going to write angle ABC. I'm going to turn my paper so that I can keep my line in the same place. I put the point in the hole, line up that line, and I follow from the 0 all the way up until I cross. And again, it's pointing straight at 90 degrees. So angle B is also equal to 90 degrees. Angle ABC, B is in the center, 90 degrees. We're going to move to C, and we're going to call this angle BCD. I can write that on the side, angle BCD, and we are going to measure again. We're putting the dot in the hole of the protractor and lining it up. This time I'm going to follow, and I'm going to count to the nearest 5. So we're moving up from 0 until our line crosses. We're past 90. Here's 100, here's 110, and 120. But my line is right between, so we're going to call this angle 115 degrees. Hey, Miss Purdy, what kind of angle is bigger than 90 degrees?
We call that an obtuse angle.
So 90 degrees is what kind of angle, Mrs. Walking?
That would be a right angle.
So we have 2 right angles and 1 obtuse angle. So let's figure out what this last angle, which we're going to call CDA, let's figure out what this angle measures. Again, I'm going to turn my paper. I put the dot in the hole of the protractor, line it up, and follow from 0. And here's 50, here's 60, here's 70. The line is directly between 60 and 70. So we will say that it is 65 degrees. 65 degrees. And we have to think back to what I said about quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals, all the angles when they are added together should equal 360 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and add all of these angles. What is 5, 5, 0, and 0?
10.
10. We will carry 1. What is 9 plus 1?
10,
Plus 9.
19,
Plus 1.
20,
Plus 6.
26.
And we'll carry our 2. And what is 2 plus 1?
3.
And we ended up with 360 degrees. We're going to put stars here because we are correct. And that is how you draw a trapezoid using a protractor. Don't forget to look at your exit ticket.